Hello all, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will be learning about selection sort. So let's begin. Selection sort is an in-place comparison sorting algorithm. It works by repeatedly finding the minimum element from the unsorted part of the array and then putting it at the beginning of the sorted part. This process continues until the entire array is sorted. How it works is it has two parts. One is a sorted part, another is an unsorted part. In every iteration, you try to find a minimum element from the unsorted part and put it into the sorted part in its right position. Initially, the entire array is unsorted and it keeps on shrinking as the iterations increases. So the way it works is you find the minimum element from the unsorted array, right? And then you put it at the beginning of the sorted part. Then again you start the iteration, try to find the second minimum element, put it at the second position. Find the third minimum element, put it in the third position. So let's quickly see how it works. So here in this example, 3, 4, 1, 6, 2, 5. This is the array. Now this entire array is unsorted, right? So I start from here. My minimum, it's right now 3. I compare it with 4. I compare it with 1. My minimum updates to 1. I compare it with 6, 2, and 5. So my minimum is 1. I would swap 1 with this position. So after interchanging, the array would become 1, 4, 3, 6, 2, 5. Now if you see clearly, the unsorted array is now shrinked to 5 elements. I'll take this as my minimum as 4. I'll compare it with 3. I'll compare it with 6. Compare it with 2. Minimum updates to 2 and then 5. Now I'm going to swap these two elements. After swapping, 2 comes here, 4 moves here. Now if you see, in each iteration, the sorted part is increasing and the unsorted part is shrinking. Right? Now again, in the third iteration, I'll take this starting element of the unsorted as minimum. I'll compare it. I found it that 3 is in its correct position. Now again, if you notice, sorted has increased and unsorted has shrinked. Likewise, you do nth iteration and in each iteration find the minimum and put it in its correct position. Let's quickly see the code. Now here, if you notice, let me rewrite it. Suppose I have been given an array. First, I'll calculate its size, array.size. I'm going to run n iterations. The outer loop that you are going to see here, this outer loop is n iterations. Now as I said, for each iteration, I have to find the minimum from the unsorted array. So here I'm taking min index as I, right? For j equals to I plus 1, j less than n, j plus plus. This inner loop is to find the minimum element from the unsorted array or unsorted part. Here I'll compare array of min index. If it is greater than array of j, then I'm going to set min index with j. Now I keep on doing this till the inner loop exhausts. When it exhausted, I'm going to swap array of min index with array of j. Sorry, array of. That's it. That's your selection sort algorithm. Now let's quickly do the time and space complexity analysis. If you look and notice, the time complexity that it takes is big of n square. Why? First, the outer loop is running n times, right? And for each iteration, we are trying to find the minimum element, which is also going to take O of n time. Because if you want to compute the actual complexity, then for the first iteration, we ran n inner iterations. For the second iteration, we run the loop n minus 1 time. For the third iteration, we ran it for n minus 2 times. In totality, it would be sum of n natural numbers. This approximately comes to n square. Now, if you notice, in space, here we are not using any additional space except for the min index. So your space complexity is O of 1. What are its advantages is that in compared to bubble sort, the number of swaps are extremely low. It is approximately just O of n swaps. In bubble sort, if you remember, we are swapping every time we discover an adjacent element which is smaller. But here we are trying to find the minimum one and just do swap operation one time. So in total we will do n times. So this is one of the advantage of selection sort over bubble sort. One of the cons of selection sort is that it's not a stable algorithm. We need to make it stable by doing some analysis, some changes, some modifications. By nature, it's not a stable algorithm. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much.